The world is full of unsolved mysteries. However, thanks to the discoveries made by archaeologists, we can learn a little more about our past. In today's episode, we bring you some surprising discoveries. Number 1. The Halatten Helmet, named after the place where it was found in 2000. That is, the archaeological site near Halatten, in Leicestershire. The decorated iron helmet is a Roman parade helmet. It used to be silver, with gold leaf trim around the edge. A team of specialists who investigated the area concluded that it was an Iron Age tomb. After almost a decade of careful conservation and restoration, the helmet was put on public display in a British museum. When found, the hull was broken into pieces and rusted, but seeing it today, no one would imagine its original state, given the complexity of its design. This helmet is more likely to have been used in ceremonies and parades, rather than battles. However, it is also possible that it was carried by ancient Britons who fought alongside Roman forces during the conquest of Britain. In other words, it could have belonged to a trader. Number 2. Our next find comes from Germany, where 19-year-old intern Nico Kalman, on his first dig, made a surprising discovery. He was part of the team investigating an ancient Roman cemetery in the west of the country, in Haltern am See. 2,000 years ago, a Roman military camp was located there, and one of the buried soldiers was buried with a magnificent golden dagger, which Nico discovered after so many centuries. The dagger was inside its sheath all this time, but when it was unearthed, it was so rusted that it looked like a burnt chicken rind, something he wouldn't want to eat. The restoration of the dagger took many months, but when the specialists finished their work, the result was impressive. The scabbard, decorated with precious stones, was perfectly preserved and the weapon was intact. Many other Roman weapons have been found at that site, but none in as good condition as this one. Bettina Tremmel, the lead archaeologist in charge of the excavations, commented that a discovery of this magnitude is extremely rare, and when it occurs, it is almost a miracle. Number 3. In September 1969, miners working in a village called Rzoksik, at a depth of several tens of meters, found a marble sarcophagus. Little did they know then that they had discovered the greatest mystery in the history of Siberia. The sarcophagus was covered in strange marks and the coffin was still perfectly sealed. Its existence is incredible. A satisfactory explanation has never been found and, over time, more legends arose around this sarcophagus. Some say that, upon opening it, they found the perfectly preserved body of a beautiful young woman, with blonde hair and blue eyes, submerged in a crystalline liquid of pink and blue tones. The miners were unable to secure the discovery, and soon the entire town flocked to the scene. Everyone wanted to see the amazing discovery up close, and stories about the miracle quickly spread among the inhabitants. About a day later, early in the morning, the militia, the fire brigade, the army, and mysterious officers dressed in black arrived in the town. Onlookers were immediately ordered to disperse, and the discovery site was declared contaminated. Authorities revealed the sarcophagus and quarantined all those who had touched it. Apparently, the artifact is now located in Moscow, in one of the secret research institutes, and scientists are still working to unravel the mystery of the phenomenon. Perhaps it has been known for a long time who Princess Teisel is. However, humanity is not yet ready to know the truth. Finally, the story of Princess Teisel has been shrouded in a mystery that has become a myth, and it is difficult to find clear details about her. Number 4. About 19 kilometers southwest of the city of Cajamarca, in Peru, is a mysterious place called Cambameyo. This ancient stone structure, most likely an aqueduct, stretches for 8 kilometers and is believed to have been built by a civilization before the Incas, about 3,500 years ago. Although it is a primitive structure, it is well designed to serve its purpose, collecting water and diverting it to the Pacific Ocean. It might even be the oldest man-made structure in all of South America. Along its 8 kilometers, there are petroglyphs and other stone carvings, but they cannot be read without more information, and we don't even know where to look for it. The zigzag patterns carved into the stones were probably made to slow the downward flow of water as it was filtered and cleaned, making it drinkable and suitable for domestic use. If we knew who built this structure and what happened to its creators, we might get more answers. But for now, it should be considered an anomaly, unlike anything else in the region. Number 5. This mysterious Mohican representation of an iguana as a companion to the wrinkled-faced god of the sky may seem like a bit of a long name. However, back then, the iguana was a very important symbol in the myths and legends of the Moche people, and the wrinkled-faced deity was supposed to protect them. Therefore, they were often depicted together in art and ceramics. Approximately 2,000 years ago, the Machicas ruled the northern territories of present-day Peru. They built dry brick pyramids and aqueducts in their territory. They were advanced metal craftsmen and jewelers, although they did not have a written language. They left very few traces that allow us to learn more about them or their culture. In this sculpture, and in others like it, the iguana always appears looking towards her wrinkled face, instead of turning away from her. Sometimes she even has some sort of bun or hairstyle on her head. The iguana may have been a deity in itself, although, considering the large number of lizards that lived at that time in what is now Peru, this seems unlikely. It would be nice if we could find a better name for the deity than just wrinkled face. Number 6. We stayed a little longer in Peru, because this country is full of ancient miracles that are difficult to explain. Another example is a place near Cusco. It is as historically important as Machu Picchu. Its name can be translated as the Moon Rock Site, but it doesn't provide a full explanation of what you'll find there. We do not know who created these crescent-shaped patterns, but we can affirm that it was not the Incas, who were very expert in working stone, although not so much. It is more likely that they were the inhabitants of Hanan Pacha. But this is just a guess. We will never be sure if or how these sculptures were used. This was probably a megalithic solar calendar that was used in rituals and offered a quiet and sacred place for meditation and reflection. Despite the thousands of years that have passed, the finish of the stones remains smooth. How was this achieved? We have no idea. Number 7. The Roman Empire covered most of modern Europe, and few countries prospered as much under Roman rule as ancient Britain. Although the British probably did not enjoy the Roman conquest, they gained many wonderful roads, facilities and structures in return. London was a flourishing commercial city under Roman rule, and even today, thousands of Roman artifacts remain underground in the British capital, waiting to be discovered. In mid-2016, the archaeological world was excited by a set of handwritten documents, from 2,000 years ago, that were found in the mud of London. We owe this discovery thanks to the workers who were building the foundation of Bloomberg's headquarters. So far, more than 400 wooden tablets have been excavated, containing references to receipts for food and wine, and a debit note in which one liberator promised to pay a debt of 105 denarii to another. This could be the oldest record of its kind in the world. We wonder if that debt was ever repaid. Number 8. The lost head of Hercules in the shipwreck of Antikythera. The same ancient shipwreck that gave us the Antikythera mechanism revealed another treasure in June 2022, when marine archaeologists located what is believed to be the lost head of a 2,000-year-old statue of the Roman god Hercules. The shipwreck, which lies off the coast of Greece, was discovered by sponge divers in 1900 and has been under constant biological evaluation since then. It is thought to have been in its current position since around 60 BC. The marble head has gone unnoticed until now because it is in such poor condition that it was thought to be a deformed rock. It was only possible to identify it as a head after divers also found the base of the statue, complete with the lower parts of its legs. The head is not the only notable discovery at the dive site. Recently, archaeologists have also found 2 human teeth embedded in marine deposits, confirming that at least one person did not escape the ship before it sank. Historians think this 130-foot-long ship was headed to Rome from somewhere in the eastern Mediterranean when she sank during a storm, but they hope to learn more from these new discoveries. Number 9. The mysterious rock sculptures of the App Store. At the age of 30, he suffered a serious stroke that left him deaf and dumb and paralyzed in half of his body. To recover from this severe blow, he retired to the cliffs of Rosenberg to lead a hermit's life. Ignoring the physical limitations caused by the stroke, he began carving hundreds of fascinating and grotesque faces and figures in the rock starting in 1870. To create them, approximately 300 rock sculptures, the artist was inspired by various legends and myths of local pirates and fishermen. The scenes mainly represent the life of the Ruthenau family, a fishing family who lived between the 15th and 18th centuries. In particular, a high number of sculptures and their great attention to detail continue to occupy researchers to this day. The still unresolved question is how Epifano, with his physical limitations, was able to carry out such heavy work for decades. Number 10. Yenchan Mountain, a quarry full of secrets. When it comes to cultural and historical places, ancient China cannot be missing from this video. At the back of Yang Mountain, 20 kilometers east of Nanjing, lies the legendary Yang Quarry. Its origin dates back to the ruler Shun, who founded the Ming dynasty in 1368 and proclaimed Nanjing as the capital of his empire. In the decades that followed, the Yangchang Quarry became the empire's main source of income and provided the material for gigantic construction projects that changed the face of Nanjing forever. In particular, the gigantic mausoleum commissioned in 1405 and never completed continues to fascinate Chinese researchers to this day. However, the quarry is also surrounded by dark legends. For example, locals say to this day that workers who did not produce the daily quota of gravel of at least 33 shin were executed on the spot, a myth that led to a nearby village being named Tu, which means tumulus. Number 11. The Tomb of Absalom, an ancient monument from the 1st century. It is one of the oldest surviving monuments. It is the Tomb of Absalom, located in the Kidron Valley, near Jerusalem, and dates back to the 1st century. Over the centuries, the tomb has received different names, such as Tomb of Hezekiah, Tower of Jehoshaphat, or House of Pharaoh. According to researchers, the tomb belongs to a noble Jewish family from the time of the 2 temples, whose name has not been determined. The mystical monument includes an underground tomb carved into the rock that can be accessed by stairs. According to legends, the tomb was used to express rejection of Absalom's disobedience. According to Jewish history, Absalom rebelled against his father's rule and was killed in an uprising. However, these accounts are not historically verified. Number 12. The Lycurgus Vase. Stunning art from ancient Rome. The ancient Romans are credited with several achievements and inventions with which the vast empire advanced civilization. But the Romans also had a predilection for art in their private lives, which is especially evident in the Lycurgus vase. This is a drinking vessel made of dichroic glass. Depending on which side the light hits through the glass walls of the glass, it shines in a different color. If illuminated from the front, it glows red. If, on the other hand, the light hits from behind, it lights up green. Scientists discovered that this effect is achieved by enriching the glass with tiny gold and silver nanoparticles, but the exact composition could not be determined, despite all intensive investigations of the material. All the more reason to appreciate and preserve these mysterious glasses. Number 13. The Underground Church of St. John. Our next exciting story takes us to France, more specifically to the idyllic town of Audun. Here is the underground monolithic stone-carved Church of St. John, which delights historians and tourists. According to what scholars have discovered, the church was originally designed to house valuable religious objects that were kept in a reliquary and protected from thieves. In the following centuries, the St. John Church was also used as a cemetery. Some historical sources suggest that the workers who carved the church directly into the limestone rock were inspired by the returning crusaders who brought back stories of underground temples and treasure chambers. Although the baptismal font in the center of the church was probably designed between the 4th and 9th centuries, it is possible that the church did not receive its final form until the 12th century. Number 14. Tiwanaku, the Gate of the Sun. Let's stay a while in Bolivia and travel near the famous Titicaca River. Here an ancient settlement of about 4 square kilometers was discovered that, according to historians, reached its maximum splendor around the year 800 AD. Between 10,000 and 20,000 inhabitants. Numerous objects of historical relevance were discovered, such as monumental structures, decorated ceramics, and megalithic blocks. While the objects were quickly assigned to a people who lived more than 1,200 years ago, the monolith called Puerta del Sol continues to cause speculation to this day. What it is in detail would probably remain unexplained forever, since historians, despite all the research, have not discovered any concrete clues about the meaning and purpose of the monolith. In Bolivian popular belief, the Puerta del Sol is considered a mystical place that connects the world of humans with that of the gods. Number 15. A Vision of India. The statues and monuments of Warangal. For thousands of years, distant India has captivated people with its exciting history and varied culture, which has given rise to numerous impressive monuments. Among them is the mysterious Gopakal Hill, which is one of the largest and most important rock-cut Jain monuments in the country. Popularly known as X-Bazar Ki Babadi, the place is associated with several Hindu deities. According to legends, the gods would have intervened in the creation of the statues up to 18 meters high that surround Gopakal Hill, some of which date back to the 6th century, a time when people's technical possibilities were limited. So how could such impressive mounds and statues have been carved out of the rock? With divine help, so far, at least, there is no scientific explanation. A total of 10 mysterious objects took us around the world in this video. Which story did you like the most, and do you know of any object or technology that remains unexplained today? Leave us your opinions in the comments box. Until next time.